Test. Is that better? Okay. We'd like to welcome you tonight to our County Commission meeting. This is December 17th, 2025. Would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First item on our agenda tonight is approval of minutes for our December 3rd meeting. Do we have any corrections or additions to that set of minutes?
Commissioner, I have no changes.
Nor I. I make a motion that we approve the minutes from December 3rd.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 2 is Super Service Award. Tina.
Hello, Commissioners. So I'm just going to go right into the nomination. It's a long one, but a good one. This unique and wonderful lady gave me the opportunity to change my life when I really needed it. Her love and guidance are directly responsible for every success I have had over the past decade. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge and honor her for her decades of service to Eastern Utah. Andrea Hall is truly one of a kind, and she will be missed at Wendy's here in Price, the way only those who are irreplaceable can be. Additionally, her supervisor, Greg Crow, submitted the following statement as well. Andrea's dedication to all those who have worked with her is phenomenal. She has served with grace and respect for both her employees and her customers. She has shown what loyalty, dedication, and perseverance truly is, and those are skills that build success. She will be greatly missed. However, we are also excited for her next chapter. Andrea opened up the Price Wendy's in 1984 and now has closed it down as the store also prepares for a new chapter when the new building opens early next year. We are so glad that she got to close this chapter by cooking some of the last burgers on the old grill. There are no words that can truly thank her for all she's done and the dedication she has given to help the Price Wendy's be a successful business. I would conclude by saying that Andrea has impacted so many lives and provided super service to our entire community in Eastern Utah. So I'm very happy to present the December Super Service Award to Andrea Hall with Wendy's. Congratulations. There's some gift cards for you to use. And you're welcome to say anything, and that pretty girl will take your picture.
Well, just want to thank you for the award. I really do appreciate it. I've learned a lot over the years from past employees, from my supervisor, and I also worked for a company that invested in staff. And I don't know, so I don't do that. It was always fun working with the employees, with the customers, and just being so many friendly faces every day. I always feel like I want to be treated like I wanted to treat right. I want to be treated like treat other employees like I would want to be treated. So I'm glad I had the opportunity to work there for 41 years. Learned a lot, like I said, from others. Grateful for the experience.
Thank you, Andrea. Congratulations. You've been a staple in our community for a lot of years. Item 3 is to review and possible approval of tourism social media management contract. You want to take that, Tina and Shani?
Yes, I invited Shani to join me. Yeah, you guys have seen it, you read it. Do you have any questions for us?
Tell us what it is.
So this is a agreement between us and Soren Digital, who is going to be our new social media management company. This is a new thing for us. We've had a full service agency for the past 7 years, and we're making some changes to our budget. And to do that, we decided to have a smaller contract and find a company that could provide us with the services for social media and all those wonderful marketing things that we do. We're really excited to work with these guys. They're 4 gentlemen who are very much known in the industry, in the tourism industry specifically. And between the 4 of them, they have 45 plus years experience in tourism marketing. And so this is the contract, and yeah, we're excited to work with them.
Any questions?
No, I appreciate the interest that people had to promote Carbon County. I know the state tourism really recommended these folks as well. They're very well known for what they do in the industry. I think you guys made a great choice, and look forward to what these folks can do for Carbon County.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to also thank you for the amount of time you put into this. We knew it took a very long time to come to this conclusion. And I think it's important that the taxpayers and everybody else understands the amount of time you put into this. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. If there's nothing else, I'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the tourism social media management contract.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
Item 4 is consideration and possible approval and adoption of the Carbon County Hazard Mitigation Plan. Justin.
Afternoon, Commissioners. So we're not in the middle, we're at the end of updating our hazard mitigation plan. Our grant and the cycle ends at the end, towards the end of the year. And so FEMA has our plan currently. You have the same plan that they have. But being this is the last commission meeting, I'm just looking for adoption of that plan pending any changes that FEMA has, but it has to be done before the end of the year. So I'm just looking to get that plan approved and everything submitted back to the state so we can get our money back.
Can you give us a brief description for the public on what this is?
Yeah, so the hazard mitigation plan, it goes through a long process, and we work with the contractor and they look at all of there's a lot that goes into us, hazards that we know we have, wildfire, flooding, everything else. They also look at some of the other data, whether it's soil and drought, and gives us kind of an overall perspective of what our hazards are and some of the plans that we can do to mitigate those. And so if we have an opportunity to get some money from FEMA to do pre-disaster mitigation, it has to be in the plan. And so this plan helps identify what those hazards are and some of the things we can do to mitigate them. So when the pre-disaster mitigation grant opens, we can go after that.
Any questions for Justin?
I don't have any questions other than it's a pretty comprehensive plan. I'm glad you didn't have to add another 256 pages for us to review, but there's a lot to it. And again, it's very comprehensive, so I appreciate the efforts.
Yeah, when I first started, the plans were held and reviewed at the state level. And so they were 30 to 40 pages. And then the federal government got involved, and it seems like they put a lot more stipulations and things you had to add to it, and it definitely made the plan a lot bigger.
And cost.
Yes.
Added quite a significant cost from the years previous, right?
Yes, very much
Could
so.
we tell us a little bit about that cost?
Yeah, so the grant was for just about $40,000 to put this plan together. We had a contractor that did it. We had some struggles with the contractor. We had to get one extension to continue that, but I think we've got it all taken care of. And I think in the early days, it would cost us, it was closer to the $10,000 range, so.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve and adopt the Carbon County Hazard Mitigation Plan resolution.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
Justin.
Item 5 is consideration and possible approval of ordinance number 590 for the 2026 Carbon County Commission meeting schedule. So our meetings typically are on the first and third Wednesday of each month.
So these are the scheduled days and times when we would hold commission meetings. Any concerns or questions?
No, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve ordinance number 590 for the 2026 Carbon County Commission meeting schedule.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 6, consideration and possible approval of resolution number 2025-06, appointment of board applicants to Carbon County boards for the year 2026. So there's been 2 additional applications to consider. Our last meeting, we had quite a few board appointments. There is an additional board member that would like to serve on the Friends of Carbon Emery Children's Justice Center and Family Support Center, and that's Alexis Sandoval. They still have room for a couple of more on that board, I think, so we can continue to take applications for that. As well as the Housing Authority of Carbon County, we have a application from Dixie Marvidakis, who is currently serving on that board and would like to continue. So that will fill the vacancy there that is still there. So any questions about these 2?
I don't make a motion that we approve Alexis Sandoval for the Children's Justice Center and Dixie Marbadakis for the Housing Authority Board.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 7 is a public hearing to open and adjust the 2025 Carbon County budget. So we need a motion to go into the public hearing.
I'll make a motion that we go into public hearing to adjust the 2025 Carbon County budget.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're in public hearing. Is there anyone, well, Seth, do you want to go ahead and maybe explain what your recommendations are, and then we'll open it up?
Yeah, every year, generally once or twice a year, we do amendments. There's generally things that occur during the course of the year that are unexpected, or there may be other grants or money that we receive from other agencies or from the state or Fed that we're required to spend within the year. So these are things that again, we have had unexpected things, or something that was a grant that needed to be spent. And I think I'll just go through the changes. There's not a lot of them. And if you have any questions, we can go through them. For Fund 10, which is our general fund, there's a proposed increase of $735,000. The main adjustments there are in 2 different places. One is a $500,000 transfer from our general fund to our airport fund. And we've had 2 big projects going on with the airport this year. One's a fire suppression system being installed, and another one is a construction of a north taxi lane. Almost everything there is covered by federal or state grants. There's a small amount of the taxi lane that we end up paying for. And really this transfer is more just so that we can have a positive fund balance in our airport fund until we receive most of the reimbursement back from the Fed. So it's more of a buffer for that fund more than anything. The other large item from our Fund 10 amendments is to increase our budget for our opioid fund disbursements. And what this is that we receive money, have been for a couple of years now, from several cases where opioid manufacturers or distributors were being sued by several states and counties. And we receive about $500,000 to $600,000 a year, and then distribute it to the Mental Health Authority, Four Corners, and the Health Department, and other agencies who help treat and educate on opioid addiction. So this is just to show us using more of that to distribute to Four Corners and these other agencies. So again, this is not, it's not money that's generally in the general fund, except for that it's received for this opioid disbursement. So it's money that we're receiving from these cases. The other things I had is in Fund 19, there's an proposed increase of $25,000. We've had quite a bit of sports, I guess, interest in sports this year out there, and they've had to hire significantly more temporary employees. So this is just to make sure that we have the budgeted funds to cover that. In Fund 20, there's a proposed increase of $367,000. We've had a significant increase in costs related to automobile operations and automobile fixing for the sheriff's department. So 125,000 of that is for those items. 212,000 is for our range fire mitigation prevention account, which we discussed in our last commission meeting. We're required to spend upwards of 300,000 a year as kind of an insurance policy. If we'll spend that money, then the state will take care of the remaining costs for any firefighting in the rangelands. Hopefully I said that correctly. Justin's gone, so can't correct me. But this 212,000 is part of what we needed to spend this year, and it is going towards the purchase of a fire truck that we discussed last commission meeting. 30,000 is the proposed increase to their search and rescue fund, and they purchased some equipment this year. Again, that's all covered by their fundraising through the demolition derby.
Just one comment,
yeah.
Seth. I just think it's important on that range fire mitigation and prevention of the increase of 212,000 was required by the state. That's what we were talking about in our last commission meeting about the insurance. So it was a required spend. It wasn't just we're looking for somewhere to dump some money. I just think
Right.
that's an important clarification.
Yep, thanks. Fund 21, which is our RDA. We have our graphite solar RDA and our Intermountain Electronics RDA. And this is to show money that's dispersed. We receive money as increment from these two RDAs, and then we disperse it back to the taxing entity as well as to the taxing entities like the cities and water districts. But then a portion goes back to the taxpayer. So this is just to show us dispersing this increment that we've received back to the entities and to the taxpayer. Fund 26, there's a proposed increase of 120,000. The bulk of that 100,000 is part of our Moto X grant that we receive out there. We've received a couple of years in a row, and they're just making improvements to the track out there. The number or what they're going to spend out there throughout the year increases. Sometimes we have to make some amendments out there because of not knowing at the first of the year what that figure is going to be. There's 20,000 also. The other 20,000 is for building and grounds maintenance out there that they're doing. Part of that is for the rodeo improvements that they're doing. They raised quite a bit of money this year from their rodeo. So this is just showing them spending some of that money that they brought in from the rodeo. The last item that I have is Fund 54, which is our airport. And there's a proposed increase of 700,000. Most of that is a part of that North Taxi Lane project, just to ensure that we have enough budgeted there. But again, the bulk of that is covered by grants from the federal government. So I think that's all the items I had. If you have any questions, I'd love to discuss them.
I don't have any. Anybody have questions for Seth?
I don't have any questions. Thanks for the explanation.
Yep, I appreciate that.
Okay, we'll invite anyone from the public to come up to make comments about this budget amendment for the 2025 Carbon County budget. Seeing none, we'll close this public hearing. We need to do that by vote. Do we have to vote on that? To close it? Okay. Item number 9 is to hold a public hearing regarding the 2026 Carbon County tentative budget.
Don't we need to approve the amendments first?
Oh, I guess we
Right.
do.
Yeah.
I'll
Thank
make a
you.
motion that we approve the amendments to the 2025 Carbon County budget.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item number 9 is the public hearing regarding the 2026 Carbon County tentative budget.
I'll
So,
make a motion that we enter into a public hearing in regard of the 2026 Carbon County tentative budget.
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. So Seth, we'll give you some time again.
Yeah, if you recall, it's been about a month ago that we presented the tentative budget for 2026. As part of state code, we're required to go through a process to present the tentative budget, approve the tentative budget, make it available in our office for 10 days, and advertise it in the local paper, and then do a public hearing, and finally approve our final budget. So we're on the last 2 steps there to have a public hearing for our 2026 budget and hopefully approve it. If there were any changes from our tentative to our final budget, I would bring them up at this point, but there has been no changes since the presentation of the tentative budget. So I won't discuss that anymore, but I will make a point that as part of our public hearing for our 2026 budget, we're required to make it clear that it's also a public hearing for our COLA, which is 3.5% for all employees for the county. So just want to make that clear. That's all I had.
And how is that calculated?
Oh, how did we calculate it? I'm sorry. That's a good question. We came up with that because of inflation. We're just trying to keep up with inflation. The projected number was 3.5%, but I think it probably came closer to 3 to 3.2% for inflation this year. But it's just our attempt to keep up with that and make sure that we're staying where we should be with our wages.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Seth?
Any other requests or questions about the tentative budget? Did your office receive anything?
No, I mean we love input, and we want to make sure that we give every option for input, and we love to discuss it with the public. We haven't had much interest. I think we maybe had 1 person or 2 people that came and got a copy of it, which is great. But yeah, we're always open for if there's questions or comments or anything like that. We'd love to chat with anyone. So.
Thank you, Seth. We'll open it up now for any public comments regarding the 2026 county tentative budget. Come on up and state your name for the record. Yep.
Good evening. My name's David Gell, and I'm a county resident. I think I was the one that got your copy, right? Okay. Not to be nosy, I have no programs or special agenda. Although Commissioner Haddock is familiar with bumping into me asking about working meetings and trying to figure out what's going on. Some of the markings I made on a copy of the budget that I got from Seth are explained by COLA. And again, I'm not picking out anything, but I noticed in some of these budget lines, like on page 3 under data processing, employee costs stayed the same. Let's see, under treasurer, and employee benefits plummeted from 74,000 to 40,000. So, which is contrary to some others, which the budget went up, the employee costs went up and the benefits went down, or vice versa. Whereas for the attorney, the cost of employment for the employees went up and the benefits went up, which is explained by COLA. But like on page 3, if the costs are going up in general, is the county doing anything different for different employee sets from the different offices? Like I said, page 3 of the copy I have, permanent employees stayed the same at 137 and dropped from 74 to 40,000 for benefits.
If I can answer that, is that all right? If I fill that one?
Yes, thank you, sir.
This is a great question and the kind of stuff we like to hear.
If I can, again, I'm not picking on a particular department or office. It was just some go up, some go down, and it doesn't make sense that benefits would go down if employee costs went up,
So
unless there was a new bargaining unit.
right. So if I can field this, so there's 2 full-time employees in the treasurer's office, Tara, and her chief deputy. And her chief deputy is married to an employee of the county. And because they don't both need benefits from the county, in the past, she has taken the benefits and her husband hasn't. This year, her husband's taking benefits. It has something to do with him being older, and she won't take benefits. So because of that, we went from
down to a single person
exactly
making that kind of difference.
Previously, there was 2 full-time employees taking benefits. Now there's only 1. There's still 2 full-time employees in there, but because of the husband of the other one is taking benefits from the county, it's
Okay, so like the opposite might have occurred or similar is in drug court on page 8. It went from, employees went from 90 to 85,000, but employee benefits more than 50% from 40 to 68,000. I'm sure something similar.
so.
I was just wondering, just
you're
in
good.
general,
These
when
are-
I see it, it's like they should either both go up or both go down, not.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So there's an employee who works in the justice court who, in previous years, so there's 3 tiers of our health.
I didn't mean to get into individual.
Oh, no, you're great.
persons'
This is a great
benefits.
question. This is good stuff to explain. So there's there's 3 different health programs. We have a family, and then we have employee and spouse, and then there's a single person. And you can imagine it's more expensive for a family with children and less for just the 2 of them, and then even less for just a single. So we have an employee who used to have a family plan because she had a child on it. The child has gone to college, so it's just a single. So it reduced significantly her benefits and health.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. So I take it that's pretty much up and down throughout the county. Seeing that, I'll just jump one page. Part of it inside was, I guess, search and rescue lost $25,000. Search and rescue donations, prior year 48, current budget 20, next year minus 25,000. Yeah, I know, because I see over here on the next page you spent $30,000. Yeah, so let me help you out a little bit. Thank you, appreciate it. The details are nice. And as I mentioned earlier in speaking with Commissioner Haddock, is when, I know you don't do the public forum, but is when there is interest, is when are the working meetings? I got to attend the special district meeting last week, only because I saw the notice, and that was of interest. And I don't know, I know some of you have other jobs, or I suppose you do, is just letting the word out there. Everybody gets on the word of transparency. Is not saying you got to post what hour of the day you're in the office working on this particular project or this one, is trying to find out more about the county and its ongoings rather than create a ruckus during a meeting. Appreciate it.
Thank you, David. Thank you.
If I could just make one more statement.
You bet.
This is awesome. We'd love more input from the public. So thank you so much. Just as a matter of information, for donations for search and rescue, the 48,000 is what they actually brought in as revenue last year, and then the 20,000 is what we're budgeting or expecting them to bring in donations for 2026. So that's the difference between those numbers. But it does bring up a good point. It shows as a negative on the spreadsheet, and that's just a function of double entry accounting. We show revenues as negatives and expenses as positives. So anyways, just to understand maybe a little more why we have it that way. So thank you so much for the questions.
Yeah, thank you, David. Are there any other public comments regarding the 2026 tentative budget? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. And we need to adopt the budget.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve the 2026 Carbon County budget.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 11 is ratification of the application for the Bulletproof Vest Grant Partnership. Sheriff Wood.
So I'd like to start off by thanking David Jellin for that generous donation. That was $3,000 that he just donated to search and rescue. He's always a giant supporter of law enforcement and pillar of our community. So I'd like to thank him for that. So we'll jump right into the Bulletproof Vest grant. This is a grant that we've had for many years. It's ongoing. So we're on a 5-year cycle. What that means is that our vests are good for 5 years and we have them staggered to where we're not replacing all 46 vests every year. So this year we're asking for 15. It comes to, I'm getting old in my old age and I don't see as well as I used to. I got to zoom it in. $26,595 that the grant will provide for these vests. We weren't able to present this before the grant was awarded, so that's why we're asking for it to be ratified. Before this grant came along, it was the responsibility of each individual deputy, and so I'll turn back the hands of time for a minute. When I was a young deputy, back before we had all the amenities we have today, you had to buy your own, and most deputies really can't afford it. They're a lot of money. They'll wear them longer than they need to where they're not as effective. This is a great program. So I'm grateful for this grant. Danelle Robinson tracks it. She makes sure that we're on it every year. This year was a little bit weird. They didn't put it out early like they normally do, and we wondered if we were going to have it. But anyway, with that said, that's what I'm asking you to ratify. I don't think there's any kind of a match that goes into that. We're asking for 15 vests, and I think that's what we're going to get. So,
Any questions for the sheriff?
I don't have any questions, just appreciate you and the team you have and what you guys do for this community.
best in the business. I'll say that. I love our local law enforcement team. And when I say that, I mean every police officer, trooper, wildlife person, firefighter, all your first responders in this community are the best.
And I really appreciate your efforts, to get these grants, so it doesn't have to come out of the taxpayer dollars. And we need to ratify this, though.
We do.
So
Yep.
I'd like to make a motion that we ratify the Bulletproof Vest Grant Partnership.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 12, we need to adjourn as the Carbon County Board of Commissioners and convene as the Carbon County Board of Equalization. So we need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we convene as adjourn as the Carbon County Board of Commissioners and convene as the Carbon County Board of Equalization.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 13 is consideration and possible approval of assessor-initiated adjustments. Amy.
Hi, how are you guys? All right, Amy Schmidt-Peters, Carbon County Assessor. So we have 22 on your list that says that we recommended or we have stipulated with the property owner. These were appeals that came in on time, and a couple of them were late that were justified last time that you approved, and we worked, and so they were either stipulated or recommended through the hearing officer. At this time, that is what we're asking of you, is if you'd make that approval for those adjustments to be noted. If you have any questions, let me know about any of those.
Any questions for these 22?
There's 22.
22 in this group?
I don't. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the 22 assessor-initiated adjustments.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Right. So the next part of the list, it's right underneath the green label. It says, let me count how many. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 that came in as factual errors, and these ones were late. So we're asking 2 things here. One is to recommend that you accept that late appeal because of factual error. The second one after that would be we recommend the values that we adjusted those factual errors to.
Questions?
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the late appeals that have been adjusted, and then the one that was adjusted to reflect the inaccuracy.
Yes.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, great. The last 3, these were appeals that came in late after the deadline, and they had no justification for being late. There are 5 basic reasonings to come in late with an appeal. 3 of these here on the list did not show any extraordinary or factual errors within those, and so we recommend that they be denied to come in as an appeal. If you
Any
have any
questions?
questions about them, please let me know.
I have no questions.
If I make a motion that we deny the late appeals without any factual errors.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, commissioners, BOE board, thank you. That's all we have for today.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate all you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Now we need to adjourn as the Carbon County Board of Equalization and convene as Carbon County Board of Commissioners.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn as the Carbon County Board of Equalization and convene as the Carbon County Board of Commissioners.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 15 is
I'll read this one slowly.
consideration and possible approval of Commissioner Jared Haddock as the Carbon County Commission Chair beginning January 1st, 2026.
I will make a motion that we approve Commissioner Jared Haddock as the Carbon County Commission Chair beginning January 1st, 2026.
And I'll step down and second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion passes anyway. Doesn't matter.
Motion to adjourn.
We're adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.